Hello, and welcome to Stop, Let's Team Up, episode 45, Stargirl, The Lost Children number 2 came out, so we're going to be discussing that. And last time we did this, we discussed Stargirl and New Generation, Golden Age, New Generation one-shot. This week, or this episode, we're going to talk Stargirl, The Lost Children, and we're also going to discuss leading comics to the second appearance of Law's Legionnaires, or as they are called at the very end of that, I think, for the first time. I don't know. I did some quick research, but the Seven Soldiers of Victory with the original Star Spangled Kid. And as we all know, if you read Stars and Stripes, that Courtney started out as the Star Spangled Kid in Jeff Johns' amazing series, Stargirl. Get it. Get it. I love it. So let's talk first, Stargirl, Lost Children. So Red Arrow and Stargirl have gone to the Arrow Cave. And this is the Arrow Cave. I'm assuming this is when he first started out, or when he time traveled back in time to be a member of the Seven Soldiers of Victory. And Courtney and Red Arrow walk in there, and I love it. It's a double page spread. And on the left is the statues of Seven Soldiers of Victory. And Stargirl goes, "Your brother really wanted to be Batman, didn't he?" "Yeah, really. No kidding. I love it." And then there are different costumes. There's, in a case, there's his Golden Age, Silver, and early Silver Age one, the Adams one, the Grell one, and then toward this. And then there are statues of different green arrows from around the world, around the globe. The Arrow car, the aeroplane, and his villains. And I recognize some. I see Spider. I see Merlin. I know them. I see a monkey dressed like an archer there, and other archers. I tried to find some of these out. So if you all know who these guys are, I would love names to go with it. So that would be great. But I see Vertigo, Clock King, Merlin, alias the Spider. And they walk through, and they're talking. There's a statue of Wing with the Seven Soldiers of Victory, so he's the 8th member. Red Arrow and Stargirl look at some of the display cases. They look at the one for Star. It's a map of Starfish Island, and that is where Emiko grew up. She is Ollie's sister. I don't know this Red Arrow, so I'm kind of intrigued. I've not read Green Arrow in a long, long time. He is one of my favorite DC characters, but I wasn't reading it. I didn't read any New 52 really, because they lost me. DC finally lost me, and I didn't read any of it. So maybe I've got to do some homework there. But they look at the map. That makes her feel sad. And then they found the Arrow boat, and they're going to go look for the sidekicks. They get on the boat. They're driving across, and they're just talking about their plan. It's in the Diablo Triangle, it's marked by a few islands we know, including Diablo Island and Starfish, but the bottom point remains unmarked. It's supposed to be open ocean, but that's where they think the Lost Children are. And they've got a little whiteboard up, and they've got Robot Dog, Airwave, Wing, Cloud. I guess she's not Cloud. I forget her name. Oops, from Young Justice. The Newsboys Legion, or the originals before the clones. Molly Pitcher and Betsy Ross. I forget their names, sorry. TikTok. John Steele, Cherry Bomb, and they look at him. They're talking about Airwave, Molly Pitcher, Betsy Ross and Molly Pitcher, Cherry Bomb, and they're talking about this, and they're all thinking Emiko takes a nap, and Stargirl's she's standing at the bow of the ship, and Airwave comes up and goes, and gives her a message, and the boat explodes. The ship, it's a boat. The boat explodes, and they're treading water. It's some great Todd Nook art. Great. She's worried about Cosmo, her staff. It's not working properly where we are, and then they get to the island. This isn't Ormal Sand. It looks like Miracle, or at least it's similar to it. And that's kind of weird that the whole beach has got Miraculo on it. And you can see these withered hand in an hourglass and a computer. Just press a button, and then these smiley face little egg robots come attacking them. They battle them. Red Arrow gets put inside one, and it takes off. Stargirl keeps fighting. She blows up one of the androids with the help of Wing, Airwave, Cherry Bomb, and Robot Dog. And Wing goes, "My name is Wing. You're being held prisoner on Orphan Island, but we can escape." You said that for decades, says Robot Dog. I think it's time we all face reality. There's only one way off this enchanted rock for the living, death. And that's it for the episode. I will say that I love this episode. I love the first one. I'm a big Jeff Johns fan. If you don't like him, sorry. I do. I haven't read some of the there's some stuff. I got bored with his Green Lantern. But I'm going to go back and read it. I would love to reread his Flash. If I'm going to reread post-crisis Flash, though, I am starting with Mike Barron, then going to William Messerlodes, then going to Wade, then going to Johns, because I love that era Flash. I absolutely love it. And I really want to do that. I'm accidentally starting a reread of another book that's near and dear to my heart, Power Man and Iron Fist. I will have all the epic collections in a few days. And I've started rereading it from the team up between them in issues 48 and 49 of Power Man. And I really enjoyed it. But back to Stargirl. This is a nice setup issue. There's enough action. I mean, Johns, he paces it. So there's a lot of information. Some is shown and some is told. Good mix. The scenes in the Arrow Cave are gorgeous. Todd Nook is amazing. Please give him another book. I'm going to start collecting the trades, the Young Justice trades. They're up to number 6, and I don't have them. I have Sins of the Father, where the kids become adults and adults become kids, but I don't have the rest of it. But I like his stuff. I read his Young Justice a lot, and I dug it, and I'm digging this, and I'm enjoying it. So we're only it's only issue 2, but there's some action, there's some fighting. They're on the island. They're going to meet some of the heroes. It's moving along at a crisp pace, and that single issue worked as a single issue. I really enjoyed it. I've liked both issues. I've liked New Golden Age. I liked it, but I kind of get why some people didn't. It was really just a setup for the other 2 books, even though it came out after Stargirl 1 and the Stargirl Summer Special, which is all part of this too. And listen to Justice Society Presents. They covered it. Shag and his partner, who I'm blanking on his name, I think it's Rob, covered it. And it was great. So find that episode on your podcaster of choice feed and check out Justice Society Presents. It's a great little podcast. But now I want to do another compare and contrast. This is going to be the thing. I'm changing the format, and I had talked before Christmas, and then I didn't record anything. I didn't do a Defenders. I didn't do a Christmas episode. I wanted to just kind of focus on my 2-day Christmas break with my wife. I ended up working Christmas Eve day, which sucked, but I just wanted to focus on spending time with my wife doing Christmas and having a good time. And we did. We watched a lot of cartoons and silly stuff and had a nice time. It was fun. So I decided on some changes, and one is some of these new books, when I'm covering a new book like Stargirl, Justice Society, and others in the future, I will pick other ones to do, and I will talk about that comic and then compare it to something else I'm reading, or pull something off the shelf that I kind of want to compare and contrast. Stargirl, The Lost Children is about Golden Age sidekicks, most of which are all made up by Jeff Johns now. But what I'm seeing, they are quite true to kind of the formatting of Golden Age comics. So I picked Leading Comics 2. I'd already done Leading Comics 1, talking first Seven Soldiers. I thought I would do the second one, which is Leading Comics number 2. I've converted to Mike's Amazing World for some numbers and dates and times. Leading Comics number 2 is from DC. It was called World's Best Comics Company then. It was the cover spring 1942 issue. It was on sale March 18th, 1942. It was a quarterly. Cost a dime. You get 64 pages. It was edited by Frederick Whitney Ellsworth. And then it had an all-star cast and crew of creators. But first, let's do the roll call. Seven Soldiers of Victory, Crimson Avenger, Arrow, Speedy, Shining Knight, Star Spangled Kid, Stripesy Vigilante. The villain is Black Star. Is his first and only appearance. Falseface, Captain Big, Hopper, The Brain, Rattler, and their gangs are the villains. Guest appearances by Wing Victory, Billy Gunn, Vigilante's sidekick. Check out Prairie Home Companion, great podcast. I'm way behind. And John Pemberton, Sylvester's Dad. And the title of the comic of the story is "Beware the Black Star Shines," and then there's 6 more chapters, and it's the different some little mini tales, because it's like in the All-Star comics where they will get together and then split up, like they do in All-Star comics with the Justice Society. But here's a little blurb, and I suspect that these 5 criminals have merged their sinister strengths into one powerful organization against society and justice, gentlemen. This calls for action, and that's what the Star Spangled Kid says in this. That's the little blurb in the DC database. I kind of using that. So there are different parts. The framing sequence is by Mort Weisinger, writer. Penciler is Mort Meskin, inker Mort Meskin, editor Mort Weisinger. Shining Knight part is by... Well, first of all, it's called Mystery of the Clowning Criminals. It's by Mort Weisinger, penciler, writer. Penciler is Creig Fessel, and the inker is Creig Fessel also. The Star Spangled Kid and Stripesy part is Mystery of the Santa Claus Pirate. Mort Weisinger, Hal Sherman doing the art. Green Arrow and Speedy, Museum of the One Man Museum. Mort Weisinger, writer. Penciler, inker, George Papp. It's great. I'm starting to really dig George Papp's Golden Age Green Arrow. I really do like his Legion. So they're very different styles. Very nice. I like it. Crimson Avenger and Wing is The Case of the Twisted Twins, which is Mort Weisinger, writer. Penciler, inker Jack Lehti, who I really, really enjoy. And The Vigilante is it's called The 60 Kitty Club. It's written by Bill Finger and penciled and inked by Mort Meskin. And 7 Soldiers Complete to the back end is Bill Finger and Mort Meskin. So I'm going to give you the little synopsis of the opening framing sequence. John Pepperton brings his son Sylvester to the bank where he works in the hopes of getting him interested in a financial career. While there, Sylvester and the family chauffeur, Pat Duggan, notice 5 suspicious-looking individuals working on a water main outside the bank. These men are not really construction workers, but small-time criminals who go by the names Falseface, Captain Big, Hopper, the Brain, and the Rattler. The thugs deliberately burst a water main and forcing tons of pressurized water to blast open the side of the bank wall. They steal the money from the bank and disguise themselves as police officers to make their getaway. Back at their lair, the thugs respond to a pre-recorded message from their ringleader, the Black Star. The Black Star is pleased with their progress and gives each their next mission, all of which takes place in different cities. Meanwhile, Sylvester and Pat, having borne witness to the crime, change into their costume identities as the Star Spangled Kid and Stripesy and unite with the other Legionnaires. The 7 Soldiers of Victory investigate the crime, and Green Arrow manages to track down the getaway vehicle as well as driver Mouse. They also recover footage of Black Star's recorded instructions and learn where the thieves will strike next. They decide to split up and go after each criminal in turn. Well, I'm not going to do a synopsis that's written here of each of the 5 other segments, but I'm going to kind of go through the book and give you my impressions. One, I think I enjoyed it more than I liked the first one. Not for any other reason that I just think I was in a better mindset to read a Golden Age comic. So that makes a difference in a lot of ways, I think. Your mindset when you go into a comic and about what you're going to, what you're reading. I mean, it changes every time. So I'm looking forward to this one. Was a lot of fun. And I liked it more. So first, let's talk about cover. The cover is Leading Comics. It's a big white background, Leading cover. I like Leading Comics. It's got a nice logo, and it says a Superman publication, DC. It was 10 cents. And it's got a black star with Black Star's face in it, and then Black Star in Comic Sans underneath. And then around the star, on the upper left-hand corner is Star Spangled Kid and Stripesy. Next to them is Shining Knight. Below Shining Knight is Green Arrow and Speedy, and below Star Spangled Kid and Stripesy is Vigilante and the Crimson Avenger. It's a great setup. I really do like more. I will say this: when I've read early All-Star comics, I have more problems with the art not translating well to me, because the styles are so different. But with this issue, Mort Meskin's framing sequence is gorgeous. And so are every other piece. Shining Knight is in Mardi Gras, and False Faces set up something during all the parades. It's a really neat 1940s comic hero story. The art is gorgeous. I'm reading it in the Seven Soldiers Victory archives, and I don't know what they did to recolor, but it's nice. But it's a great one. Sylvester Pemberton and Pat Duggan, Star Spangled Kid and Stripesy. Beautiful art by Hal Sherman. It is a very kind of more cartoony style, so everything's a little bigger and over the top. Mr. Big as Santa is kind of disproportional. I do like that they get tied to a buoy and swing and get loose that way, like you were watching a Republic serial. This one really read like that. Green Arrow against the Hopper. It's at a carnival, and it's, they're shooting thing. Their rides on the. Ollie wanted to be Batman. It really reads. It's a great comic, but it's just basically it could be a Batman comic. I really like it. The art's different, and like I said, the George Papp art is different. Now maybe it's a little more basic, but I think it really suits the Green Arrow story, and I think the different style really suits Legion. I think it's a transition. Now we're up to the Crimson Avenger story with Jack Lehti art, who I really like. It is a modern comic fan may not like it. It's got the wing stuff is really troubling. It does not add up. It is incredibly racist. It's really, really bad. And it really takes you out of it from time to time. Other than that, I like the story. I like the design. I like his kind of design, and the story with the twins is neat. Because it's basically someone's kidnapping twins. You find the brain has a twin who's a good person. But I really do like the art. It's just the stuff with Wing is just so kind of troubling. And I kind of think I'm hoping that's what Johns and Lost Children is trying to go try and fix is, kind of negate that. All right, The Vigilante is a Bill Finger story. And I don't know that much Vigilante except some modern stuff. It's a great little Western. The Indians dressed as Indians is really, really bad because they would not be dressed. I don't know. It's just incredibly racist. And it's in bad taste. And then there are, but other than that, it's just a Western. The art's gorgeous. And what I thought, and I'm thinking about this, is there's several panels. It really reminds me of Golden Age Jack Kirby. It really does. It really reminds me of Golden Age Jack Kirby, like his Sandman. And then we get back to the main thing, and all the things they were dividing was something that could make a ray that makes organic stuff grow, and Black Star using himself, and he's too big, and it kills him. The hubris of the secret villain. So this was fun. I liked it a lot. It was a lot more fun than the first one. Maybe it just mindset. Maybe I'll read that, go back and read it, but I don't think I need to. But it was a good comic. It's fun. I think it holds up better than a lot of Golden Age that I read. I like Golden Age stuff, but I do kind of like this more than I do like early All-Star, because I just think it looks less rushed, probably. I'm going to take a little quick peek here while I'm talking. I don't know. I'm reading it in the archives. There are places online to read any Golden Age comic if you look far enough. I'm not saying you do that, but it is possible to read this somewhere. I'm going to look up in the app and tell you if it is on there. So let me find. My phone did something weird and I can't find anything. All right, I'm back and it is not on the app. But I've got the archives. I got them pretty relatively cheaply. They're 3 volumes of them. It's only a 12-issue run. They're only 12 Seven Soldiers Victory stories. I really like this. It's good to see where Johns is going, I think, in a way of heroes' sidekicks, because, Vigilante has a couple sidekicks. Charlie Gunn, who is an older cowboy. He also has a Chinese sidekick, which is portrayed would now considered very racially insensitive, but is of its time. I think this is this is a really solid story. And I think both of them are in the leading the stories I've read in leading comics. I think they really work well together. So if you get a chance, you can find a copy of the archives, get it, read it. DC, put your archives, all of them. Just put them all on the app. Just have an archive section. I think it'd be good. We're paying you $99 a year to get extra stuff. But that's it. Really, again, read Stargirl. Read Stargirl. find John's original series, read his Justice Society when she's in it if you want, read the summer special. I'm going to reread Justice League. It was the Jeff Lemire International one, and Stargirl's part of it, because I want to read that, because I'm a big Jeff Lemire Black Hammer fan, and some of his other stuff. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. But read it. Keep up with this. Next time, the next one that should be come out is going to be Gold Justice Society number 2, and I have not picked what I'm going to read along with it, but it may be the next Sandman arc, which would be nice. Some shout outs. I bought some I got some money, a little extra money, so I bought some very cheap omnibuses that I could find. I did some very good shopping. I'm getting 2 of the Avengers omnibus. I'm very excited. I got both Who's Who. I've now got both Thunderbolts and both New Warriors ones, but I found a place that had a very cheap copy of the Bruce Jones, Brent Anderson Kazar run, which I frickin' love. I got that, and I'm also waiting on a book by Paul Levitz that I had never heard of, and he is teamed with one of my favorite comic artists, Simon Fraser, who I read the 11th Doctor comic book he did with Al Ewing for Titan, and I've got some of his art on my wall, including a commissioned of Jack and Ted Knight. But the book that I ordered by Paul Levitz is called, here it is, it's pulling up, so bear with me, Unfinished Business. And it came out a couple of years ago. It doesn't say here. But it's, I'm looking forward to it. It's a non-superhero book. It's a graphic novel with art by Simon Fraser. I'll tell you what I think. I will probably do an episode all on this. One of my favorite writers and one of my favorite artists doing something. Hey, give it a shot. So, folks, that's it for this week. For new comics or non-traditional, non-Legion, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to continue to Legion once a week. I may take weeks off when it's more than 2 issues I'm going to cover. I may pause so I can do a little more homework. I'm putting those Daring Defenders on break until after the new year. That will pop up as arcs or double arcs. I haven't decided. I will revisit Defenders and store, but I will do arcs, and I will only do it every month or 2 or 3. Kind of want to spread it up. I felt I was rushing to get stuff out, and it was suffering, and I wasn't enjoying it, and I don't think I was giving you as good a product as I could. I know I just like to ramble. I'm just kind of giving you my hot take very quickly, and just how it's affecting me. I'm not trying to compare, I'm comparing stuff, but I'm not trying to be the great critiquer or the expert. I think comics are fun. They give me pleasure, and I want to talk about ones that give me pleasure and why, and some that don't and why. And just get the ball rolling. I would love to hear your input, your takes, so please reach out to us. You can DM me at JSA4E on Twitter, or I am on Facebook now and Instagram also, or you can email me at stoplетsteamup@gmail.com and just give me your input. So what it is going to be, Legion will probably be on Wednesday. The new episode of whatever topic I'm covering, which will jump around, will be sometime between Sunday and Monday, depending on what I get done. I'm leaning on doing some roll call stuff. I would like first what I'm going to do is Avengers, and I don't think I'll do the whole lineup all the way through, but I'll break it up. But I'm going to do one on the Avengers from probably number 1 to about 300, and after that, I'm going to do some comic creator stuff. Trying to schedule some time with Ron to do a couple episodes for him and a couple episodes for me, and tomorrow I'm recording next week's episode. I will say this with Jim Fetters, and we're going to cover the second Legionnaires trade. I'm really enjoying the reboot. So a lot of Legion, but other than that, we're going to do some DC. And I've got some other stuff coming up. I've asked Billy to come on and talk about a teen book that I don't think it's an obscure one, but I think it's right up Billy's wheelhouse, and it's going to be fun for me to chat about it. But folks, again, thank you as always. I hope you had a Merry Christmas. I hope you're going to have an amazing New Year. And please be smart, be safe,
read some comic.